What's up guys, my name's Luke and welcome back to Motion and Design. So I'm going to continue this Taio series. I think this is going to be the last one, unless you guys really like it, in which case I guess ask for more and then I'll do more. But yeah, I thought this time I would do a flower, seeing as though we've done a plant, we've done a tree, and so I might as well do a flower next. So yeah, I've been messing around with Taio a bunch, and the last time we used the 2 plants, now we're going to use the 2 flower. So yeah, it's a bit of a different process, but pretty much still exactly the same. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it. And yeah, if you guys are interested in the project file, that will be up on my Patreon. And yeah, if not, a like and a subscribe does go a long way. And also comment, don't forget to comment. For some reason, that helps the algorithm. So yeah, but yeah, I initially started with this. I was trying to make a protea. Protea is the national flower of South Africa. So I was trying to make a protea. I mean, it looks like this. My render did not end up looking like this. Yeah, it ended up being a lot different, but at least the initial concept was based off of this. Yeah, I'd recommend like using a reference when trying to make these like flowers. What I teach you here today, you can probably pretty much use it to make like other flowers. You are kind of limited with Taio, but we can make quite a wide variety of flowers. But yeah, today we're going to be kind of making a kind of protea, kind of other plants. I actually don't know plants, but yeah, let's get into it. Cool, so let's start out by going to Taio and using this 2 flower. And awesome, now we got a flower. So you'll notice that it comes in really small. That's because if we had to throw in a human over here, it comes in at real world scale. So that's why it's so small. And yeah, there we go. You got a flower over there, and tutorial done. Yeah, this flower looks very meh, so let's go and delete everything. Let's start from scratch. Let's go over here and grab our petal. This is going to be the fundamental of pretty much the entire flower. And let's go and build the geometry in a way that we like. Cool, let's just bring this up. Let's go to our geometry section. Let's change our width. We want something quite thin. I think something like that is nice. Let's maybe just, let me just bring this over a bit more. Let's make the front a little bit tighter. It's very pointy at the moment, but that's because if we were to go NB, you'll see that there's not many polygons. But we can fix that just by adding this over here. So let's go like 30 and 15, or yeah, 115, no, 15, maybe 50. Maybe let's just bring this up by a tiny bit. There we go. We got a base over here. I'm going to bring this down for now, just so that working with this, it's not too slow. But yeah, when it comes to the final rendering stage, do make sure to increase your subdivisions. Cool, let's just adjust this a little bit more. Let's grab our wood, make it like that. Let's bring down this middle part over here. Let's also just change up the shape a little bit. Something like that. It's a little bit weird, but it's okay. We're not really going for the most realistic flower. We're kind of just seeing what we end up making. Cool, so that's the basis over there. We can add thickness, but I recommend only adding thickness at the end of the process, just because it will slow down the process a bit. Cool, so now that we got that, let's set up our orientation. Let's change the angle. So we're going to have multiple layers to this. So I'm thinking maybe like 4 and then 1 going down. So yeah, let's have one like this. Let's go to our modifiers. It already has some fold over here. Let's just add some more fold and a little bit of furling, but we want it to face upwards like this. Awesome. Maybe just a little bit more. I think something like that is cool. Cool. Now we got the base over there. Let's go and copy this just by holding down Control. Let's go to our main section over here. Let's change the layer rotation, something like that. Let's go to the geometry, change the size because we want it to be smaller. Let's go 0.8. Because like usually looking at flowers, they kind of go from like big, smaller, smaller, smaller. And so that's kind of what we're going to be doing over here. And let's go to our orientation. Let's change our angle, face this up a little bit. Let's also go to our main and just increase the position over here, just by a bit. Cool. I actually think that 0.8 is too much. 0.9. Yeah, I think that's better. Let's go again. Duplicate this. Rinse and repeat. Let's change our angle over here, something like that. Let's go to our size and now put this to 0.8. I think 0.8 works over here now. Let's also just go and make the variation on all of these. Just add a little bit of variation to the size, just so that it has a little bit more of a organic look to it. Cool. And then with this one, let's also just raise this up a bit. Something like that. And then let's add one more. That last one does seem a little bit too small. Let's maybe make it 0.85. And then this one here, let's change the orientation to be even further up. And let's change the rotation. Where's the rotation? Layer rotation. Nice. And maybe let's give this one less. It's like 6 or something like that. So they move. Cool. Let's just rotate a little bit more and maybe add a bit more furling over here. So like this. I think that looks pretty cool. I kind of want to make these go a little bit higher above each other. So let's go over here into our position. Let's bump this up a bit. Same with this one. And this one. Cool. So we got the base of our flower over there. Let's do one more of these. Let's grab this first one. And with this one, what we're going to do, let's just change the orientation by a bit. Something like that. And then let's go to our modifiers. Let's delete this furling and grab a, no, not another fold, another furling over here. And now what we're going to do is we're going to push this one downwards. Nice. Let's also just make this a little bit different to the others. Let's make it quite thin and maybe add like 10. I think that is a little bit too thin, but yeah, something like that looks good. And then let's just change the orientation so that it's angled downwards so that it's not intersecting. Nice, look at that. We got the base of our flower over here. And that looks quite pretty. Cool. So now let's go and build the internal parts. Let's add this pistil, yeah. I had no idea that's what it's called, but I mean, hey, I guess that's pretty cool. So now you'll see what happens is that it's connecting, but it's connecting from the edge over here. And so now at the moment, looking down at this, this kind of looks like a, I guess kind of like a sunflower, but that's not the look that we're going for. So let's go and in our main over here, let's bring this all the way down. So now what's happening is that we're connecting from the very middle over here. You'll see as I bring this up, it's showing where it's going to be connecting because it's connecting at the very base of it. Let's just make this like this. Now let's bring up our height. Something like that I think works. Let's just bring this a bit like that. Yeah, so now you can see that it's a little bit weird. I'd maybe kind of go back and just change the positioning of the petals. Let me just do it. That looks a little bit more natural. Cool. Although this is very spiky at the moment. So let's go and add some subdivisions. I think I'm going to use 3 over here. I'm just going to drag this up by a tiny bit just so that we get rid of that little intersection over there. I think that works. Cool. So that's the base over there. It might be a little bit too high. Let me just bring this down a little bit. It's kind of like a ball over there. Cool. So we can turn off all of these for now because we're just going to be working with this. And now with this selected, let's go and add these stamen. Actually, I have no idea. Yeah, cool. So what we want to do with this is a lot of flowers, they have this kind of like little dots around them. I remember watching a tutorial, I think it was from Thanos, who was doing a like recreating a flower, and when using a cloner, it was something like 137.5 is the angle that she used to get this like perfectly geometric look to it, which was pretty cool. But with this, we don't need to do anything like that. We just kind of mess around with this and we're going to get some cool results. So let's make this like 150. So like that. Let's bring down our position over here and let's bring up our ring radius. So you need to kind of just find the right radius over there. I think that works for now. Let's go and bring down our height. Something like that should be good. And now let's change our position again. Cool. And now you can kind of see what we're getting is we're getting this nice coverage over here. So now if we change this to like 300, we get a pretty good covering over there. Let's maybe change this a bit, maybe make it 1.65, 63, something like that. It's a little bit weird. Can we fix that? Cool. Let's just bring this up a little bit, bring this one back, and bring this over here, so we get these more rounded tips over here. They're a bit blocky, but we can fix that just by making this like 10, 20, oh, not 120, just 20. And cool, now we got this nice looking spiral over here. It's a bit wonky. Let's just change up our size variation a bit to get a little bit more of a natural look. Cool, I think this is fine for now. Yeah, I mean, I think that as a basis works pretty well. Let's go and add another one of these stamen. Although we don't want it on top of it, let's bring it down. Let's bring this back over here. And this is going to be just like extra ones. We don't need as many, but they're just going to kind of come up from below. Cool, so let's just bring down our position. And let's increase our height over here. Let's go to our modifiers, let's add some furling. And let's add it something like this. Let's maybe make this like 8 or 10. Does that do anything? Yeah, I think I like that. Although I don't like that one over there. Let's... how can we fix that? Is the furling... Okay, there's one in the middle. Is there a way to remove that? When radius... No, that doesn't change it. Sure, there's a way to fix that. Size variation... Maybe there's not a way to fix it. Actually, I have no idea. Maybe I just bring down this counts. We go all the way down to 1. Yeah, of course. Yeah, see, that's the thing. I mean, Taio is great. There's just some like certain limitation to it. I'm sure there is a way to fix this, right? Like there has to be one. I can't think of one right now, but yeah, if you guys do know, shoot it down in the comments. Let's all learn together. But yeah, I think for now, this is fine. It's not the end of the world. Cool, we got this. Let's increase this to like 15, 20, 30. Let's bring this up, down. Maybe if we make this 50, we just want something a little bit smoother. I think something like that works. Cool, I think something like that works. So on top of this, I added another one of these, but made sure that it's actually connected to it, just to kind of get these kind of like little bits of fur. There's definitely a better way of doing this, but I mean, I just thought, seeing as I was doing it in Taio, I might as well do everything in Taio. But yeah, let's go to our geometry. Let's bring this down to like 5 and 3. We don't need that much geo on them. And with the size, let's bring this down to like 0.5. Ooh, 0.5, there we go. With some size variation. And then let's add something like 500. Maybe even less of this. What happened to our geo? Where did it go? Let me just redo that again. Make it a child. Bring this up. Maybe add like a lot. We're gonna crash. Actually, we're not crashing. Cool. I'm just gonna bring this down to like 5 and 3 again, because we don't really need that many. And then let's just bring this down to like 0.2, 0.5, 0.5. Cool. I think something like that works. And then let's maybe just add some furling, just so that like they're pointing upwards or sideways. I mean, yeah, it looks kind of cool. It's a bit weird, but I kind of like it, to be honest. With some like nice texturing, it'll just add some like extra realism to it. But yeah, I think that looks pretty cool. Let's maybe add... do we need another one of these? I don't know, let's see what this is looking like. Nice, well, we have a pretty cool looking flower over here. Nice, I think that is a good place. Actually, let's do one more. Let's turn these off for now. Also, these just so I can run a little bit faster. Let's add another one of these. Let's bring this all the way back here. Let's go to our position, bring this all the way to the bottom. And we actually, no, let's still do it. Cool, let's bring up our height. Spurling. More height. Where are these ones at? Let's go with even more height. Some more width over here. I want them to be coming from just below. Let's do this, then how do I change it here? Nope. Okay, I do need it to this. They are a bit big. Let's maybe bring them down a bit. Just bring down sides a bit too. And then can we change the angle? I'm sure there's a way to change the angle. That's the phone angle. That will affect that. Yeah, there's certain things that do make this process a little bit annoying. Just because it's only limited amounts of control with this. But I mean, hey, for how easy it is to create these things, I mean, I guess I can't really complain too much because Insidium has really made this such an easy process to make some like really cool and intricate looking flowers. Cool, I think this is pretty cool for now. Let's just go in and add some thickness to these flowers because at the moment they're a little bit too thin. Let's go to geometry, thickness, scope maybe 0.1. That's a little bit too much, 0.05. You can also go over here into this thickness and change where the thickness is happening. So now it'll be thicker at the base and thinner at the front over here. Let's also just go and connect this at the front. I think that's a little bit better. Cool, so now it's thick at the bottom. Let's maybe actually just make this 0.1. That's usually how flowers are. I think that looks quite nice. And now let's just rinse and repeat for the rest. Thickness 0.1. And drag this down. 0.1. Cool. So now we got some flower with some thickness. Let's just fix that because that does not look very nice. Let's go here. I think we need to change this to make this like that. And then let's also go over here. Let's increase the number of segments. Like 50, 20. Okay. Cool. I think that is a pretty decent looking flower over there. Nice. What's the time? I guess, let me show you guys how I did some of the texturing of this. Let's go and open up Redshift. If you're using Octane, you can still follow along. I mean, a lot of the concepts that I use are pretty much the same. I mean, it's literally just, you know, connecting noise, which is the main thing. Let's go and just add some sunlight so that we have some sort of lighting. Let's go to an angle that we can see. And then let's go and create some materials. Let's go and turn all of these off so we can work with just one layer. Cool. Let's go over here, create rich material standard. And then let's put this material over there. Nice. Cool. Let's go and look for a ramp. If you're working in Octane, it's a gradient. Cool. And so now you can see what's happening is that with each of these, we're getting the ramp that's going from here to there. So now what we can do is we can control the color of the flower from that. So let's go with maybe something like that. So we add some like green in the middle here. That is hideous. So like that kind of works. Let's also go and add a max on noise. Cool. And we're going to put this into the alt input over here. And with this, let's find a noise that kind of gives us a more natural look to it. Does this work? I mean, I feel like we're losing our gradient over there. Let's go and add a bump. Put this into our bump over here. And we want something quite small. So let's go maybe like lucky. Go to like 0.1. How's that looking? Maybe stemma or stopple. It needs to go even lower and 0.1. 0.1. And in our bump, let's bring this down to 0.5. Hello? Why have I lost all color? And Richard, why are you being annoying? Cool. Now we got a whole bunch of bump over there. Let's make that 0.1 a little more subtle. 0.5. Cool. I think that works for now. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, the colors are not great. It's one of those things where... Actually, let me just show you guys the original project file, because the textures are pretty easy, because then it'll at least look nice. Cool. So over here, here's our plants, and here is our background with each of these plants over here. The texture is super simple. I have a ramp over here that if I solo, nothing changes. Oh, isn't that great? Oh, it's because I'm working with the middle parts. Is it this one? Cool. So I have a noise over here, which is just a wavy turbulence that is then going into a ramp that is going into our roughness. I also have a max on noise over here that is set to just noise of 2 different colors. That's plugged into our color and our subsurface. I just added a tiny bit of subsurface scattering just so that when I have lights from behind that the light comes through. I don't think I did anything else to this other than just added some bump. Cool. So yeah, as you can see, we just have noise that's affecting over here, and inside of our flower I just have a displacer that has noise, and then next to the noise I have the subtract. If I actually turn this off, you'll see that the noise is applied uniformly along everything, but I didn't want it to have this displace all the way across, so I just added a simple gradient saying that I only want this noise to applied over here, and then nothing at the end over here. So yeah, that's pretty much the basics of it. I showed you guys the texturing, super simple texturing, but we get these really nice looking flowers. Nice. And then with the gradient, it's just a background HDRI with a simple gradient inside of it. Super simple. And then each of these other things over here are pretty much textured the exact same way, just using a ramp that's plugged into it. So yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you guys are interested, the project file will be up on my Patreon. There's also a bunch of other project files up on my Patreon. I'm sorry that this last little bit of the tutorial was a little bit of a mess. Yeah, sorry about that. But yeah, I still hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I'll see you guys next week. Peace.